Hi, I'm Dan Koopman, the College Dean. Today I'm going to start working on several videos, the first of which will be a short 10-minute video explaining several degrees and programs that you could consider at your local community college that could open up a career for you for no or very low investment. And you might want to ask yourself, why would you want to listen to a college dean talk about programs that you should take? I'll just give you a real short background of what I bring to the conversation, and I would welcome your feedback. This is the only, I think, second video that I've made specifically for the public. So I'm going to try to share as many suggestions and ideas for that person out in the community that says, I'm not convinced that colleges are a good investment, but yet I know I want to get into a career that requires a college degree or certificate. So my goal is to be a resource for that student or prospective student that says, what could I do to maybe work my way through college or begin an entry-level position that actually has fairly good pay? So that's my goal. I'm new to this YouTube thing, so I welcome your feedback. And I want to start out by saying right up that these will not be perfect. I'm going to sometimes stumble in my presentation, but I'm really passionate about helping adult learners, especially maybe career changers that are hesitant about starting a career because it's just new to them. A lot of folks approach college, frankly, with a lot of questions and apprehension. And I want to provide, some peace of mind and confidence for those students that are ready to give college a try, and hopefully will avoid some missteps along the way. And so that's my goal, is to provide some good information that will make this entry into community college and careers just a little bit easier. Today I want to focus on a profession that all of us have seen, whether it's on popular television shows like 911, I think Dallas, and of course the classic 911 emergency, the Rampart days back in the 70s. Paramedics and EMTs have been highlighted on lots of television shows, and for good reason. They're a vital, service in our communities. We depend on them. In the college that I work at, which shall be unnamed at this point, simply because I just want this to be a ubiquitous opportunity where this can apply at any community college. Most community colleges are going to have EMT programs readily available to the public. Some states will have EMT programs offered literally through hospitals and other agencies, whether it's perhaps an ambulance company that has a director of their EMT programs. But in the state of Oregon, it's through community colleges. And it's a very in-demand career opportunity. And I should tell you that the average entry-level wage for anyone that wants to pursue an EMT position, it's $18 to $22 an hour, depending on your location and the company that you're going to work for. About 79%, according to employment data, 79% of all EMT positions are transport, meaning you're working for an ambulance company or a fire department that has a ambulance service attached to its service for the community. The other opportunities, though, for an EMT is they can be a emergency room tech. They can work at a local hospital in the emergency department. Many clinics will hire an EMT, like a urgent care clinic will hire an EMT to serve alongside the staff. And finally, of course, fire departments, Wildland Fire Agency as well, will hire EMTs, very much in demand. There is a high turnover rate for EMTs. It's demanding work. lots of driving and lots of shift work. That's a negative as well as a positive. Because if you're a young person and you're eager and you've got boundless energy and time, there's nothing better than a shift type job where you can pick up extra shifts and earn overtime at a much higher hourly rate. So EMTs are a great foot in the door to an EMS system. And I want to touch on just how an EMT can be, I want to say, leveraged to greater advancement than then can get you into a $70,000 to $80,000 a year position with not a lot of additional training. The system works the following. Your basic EMT literally is a 6-month training, meaning 2 college terms. In quarter systems, that's an 11-week term for Part A, an 11-week term for Part B, and at the end of literally 22 weeks, you're sitting for your national exam, and you could then be a licensed basic EMT. With 2 more terms of training, so another 22 months in a system that has quarter terms at community colleges, you could then be an advanced EMT. Once again, sit for the national test and you can be a nationally licensed EMT advanced. And lastly, the paramedic, also referred to as the medic out in the field. Now, Oregon is one of at least 2 states that requires a full 2-year associate's degree from a community college to be a paramedic or a full medic. Now, the reason for that is states like Oregon have a much broader scope of practice. My EMT friends tell me, and my paramedic directors have told me that Oregon has a long list of medications that a paramedic is able to administer out in the field at an accident scene or a cardiac event, as well as some significant other, I want to say, procedures or emergency care that they're able to provide out in the field. So it's a broader scope of practice, and that's why the rationale, from what I've heard from agency directors, the 2-year degree makes sense. Now, if you're watching this from a state like California or Idaho, you are not required to have a 2-year degree to be a paramedic. It's more like 9 to 12 months, I believe. And again, the scope or range of medical care that the paramedics at other states are allowed to administer on site is a little more, I want to say, condensed, but the basic work is the same regarding the national standard of care. So there's a real opportunity to literally become a full paramedic in a lot of states with just a 1-year certificate or less. So, and that's where we get into much I want to say a higher, significantly higher level of pay and compensation. Many paramedics that I know personally, they've got maybe 8 to 10 years in. They are easily making $75,000 to $80,000 a year, and they love their shift work. They love their schedule and their lifestyle, because it's not unlike a firehouse paramedic where it's 48 hours on and then 24 off or that sort of thing. So there's some real flexibility in life balance that a paramedic enjoys. To be clear, paramedic is tough work. EMT is tough work. It's long hours, sometimes dealing with people at their least best time in life. In fact, it's their worst day. That's why they've called for emergency services to come out. So be prepared to consider this opportunity with your best intentions, because you're going to be working with people that are having a tough day. So let's get to the good part of how you can tap into this type of career as a basic EMT and beyond. And at least for now in the Northwest, you could do this for absolutely no cost. And I'm referring to the basic EMT and being able to earn that and not have any out-of-pocket expense whatsoever. Currently in my state of Oregon, and I know this is true in my neighboring states, there's significant workforce money in the form of grants that you can simply contact your local community college and say, I'm interested in getting my EMT. I understand there might be Department of Labor or workforce training dollars that will help me get a certificate paid for. Can you direct me to that office? If you do that, that person at that first stop office or that reception office, they will typically refer you to someone like me or a program director who has the information on those grants. Currently, at the college that I work at, it's a $6,000 grant that is literally a check given to the student through the financial aid department, and it goes in the form of a refund, or it can be used against their account to pay for the tuition fees, textbooks, etc. In most cases, just the EMT itself, those two courses, the Part A and the Part B, are well below $6,000. That's more, I would say, in the $2,000 range, maybe $2,500 to $3,000. So at the completion of that certificate, you're going to have money to spare to put toward other courses that you could be working on towards, say, a fire science degree or the paramedic degree itself. So I have provided some links down below in the description of how you can DM me if you have further questions. Maybe you're from another state. I would be happy to take a look at what's available in your local community. If you'll just send me a DM, tell me where you're located or messaging me from, and what type of one-year certificates you might be interested in, whether it's welding, criminal justice, medical assistant, pharmacy tech. There's quite a list that I'm familiar with that I would be happy to share information. And so feel free to contact me and provide any feedback you might have as well. Thank you, and have an awesome day.